The bar is buzzing in downtown Chicago. Jake leans in, heart racing, palms sweating, not because he's nervous, but because he knows he's about to put science to the test. Around him, women laugh, chat, and glance his way. But only a few men command that magnetic pull. What if I told you the secret lies not in charm or luck, but cold, hard psychology? Tonight, we're diving into the dark, swampy waters where real attraction grows, in discomfort, tension, and primal signals. Stick around to discover why 20% of men get 80% of women, and how you can level up to join that elite few. Let's start with a brutal truth. Comfort kills attraction. Sounds crazy? That's exactly why attraction feels more like a mystery than a formula. In a 2014 study, researchers observed a speed dating event in New York. They discovered the most successful men didn't make their dates feel cozy. They pushed boundaries with playful teasing and ambiguous signals. Take Mark, a data analyst, who intentionally made his dates guess his next move, triggering nervous excitement instead of dull safety. His dates later admitted that tension made the experience unforgettable, but what exactly drives this? Picture attraction like a campfire in a swamp. If you build the fire where everything's dry and safe, it burns out quickly. But in the swamp, wet, dark, and unpredictable, any spark catches attention and holds it hungry for more. That's the essence of the swamp theory. Attraction thrives best in emotional uncertainty, discomfort, and even a touch of anxiety. When you start inviting discomfort, like teasing, unpredictability, or pushing social norms, you signal confidence and emotional resilience. Women unconsciously pick up on that and find it magnetic. Instead of chasing comfort, leaning into awkward moments paradoxically makes you far more desirable. So, next time you're nervous, remind yourself that you're lighting a fire in the swamp. Next up, your sexual market value, or SMV. Forget vague ideas about looks or money, we're breaking down what science actually says makes men attractive. Chris Canwell breaks down a fascinating case from a college campus in California. Two guys, Brian and Mike, were equal in looks but wildly different in SMV. Brian was a shy gamer, Mike led the fraternity, owned a vintage car, and carried himself with swagger. Women overwhelmingly preferred Mike, not for his face, but what he represented. This disproved the myth that looks alone drive attraction. Something deeper was at play. Think of SMV like a stock market. Your looks are the base currency, but confidence, social status, and resourcefulness are like stocks and bonds that multiply your net worth exponentially. One guy with average looks but charismatic confidence can outbid a conventionally handsome man who's socially awkward. This blend acts like a magnetic investment portfolio, high return, highly attractive. When women evaluate men, they look for predictable signals, leadership cues, reliability, and passion for life. A man who confidently talks about his goals, leads his social group, and pursues his interests naturally scores higher on SMV. The surprise? It's not just about being alpha, it's about being reliably interesting and self-assured, creating a stable yet exciting emotional environment. You don't have to say a word to spark attraction. Your body talks loudly, and Canwell's got the decoding key. In a Seattle nightclub, Canwell observed Mike's body language versus a more reserved guy, Tim. Mike stood tall, shoulders back, making X shapes with his arms that took up space. Tim curled in, shoulders hunched. Women gravitated toward Mike's confident open doorway, creating a silent invitation. Tim's closed posture shut down opportunities before conversations even started. That night, body language made the difference between invisibility and being the center of attention. Think of body language like Wi-Fi signals in a crowded room. Open posture broadcasts strong signals. Crossed arms and closed stances are like dead zones with no reception. Women, wired to decode emotional safety instantly, pick up subtle cues from your microexpressions, like a micro smile or a brief eyebrow raise, that confirm you're not just confident but genuine. These tiny signals combine to form one loud emotional broadcast. When you mirror someone's gestures subtly, copying their stance, hand motions, or tones, you build rapport effortlessly. It's like tuning your emotional radio to their frequency. Women feel understood on an unconscious level, which breaks down barriers faster than words ever could. The result? Instant chemistry without forced conversation, because your bodies speak the same silent language. Attraction didn't die with online dating. If anything, it got sneakier. Texting is the new front line, and body language has a digital cousin. Canwell recounts a story from Chicago where Daniel tried texting Sarah. Instead of constant messaging, Daniel sent brief, cryptic replies that made Sarah curious and eager to respond. Unlike his previous approach, boring, predictable texts, this ambiguity sparked an emotional tug-of-war that kept Sarah hooked. The open loop in texts mimics the same anxiety attraction demands offline, just in pixels and timestamps. Consider timing like a DJ mixing a track. Drop messages too fast, you overwhelm and the vibe dips. Too slow, you lose the crowd's energy. But perfectly spaced texts are remixing emotions, building suspense, teasing interest, then giving just enough payoff. This pacing drives dopamine surges that simulate the thrill of a real-life chase, but digitally. Texting, when timed right, becomes an emotional roller coaster. Humor isn't just a way to get laughs. Canwell shows it's a secret weapon for attraction. When Daniel sent witty, playful jokes that teased Sarah's quirky interests, it created shared inside jokes and emotional warmth. Humor breaks down walls, making you seem approachable but unpredictable. This cocktail of lightheartedness and mystery triggers desire and builds connection faster than straight compliments or deep talks ever could. Attraction isn't a flicker, it's a fire you've got to tend every day. Canwell dives into how to keep that flame burning long after the first fight or kiss. One girlfriend, Laura, confessed to Canwell that when her boyfriend Dan became too comfortable, her attraction dimmed. Predictable weekends and scripted conversations killed the spark she once felt. But when Dan reintroduced playful surprises, random dance challenges at home, mysterious date night clues, her desire reignited. This real-world shift proved that unpredictability doesn't just start attraction, it maintains it in the long haul. Imagine comfort like a couch. Cozy and inviting at first, but sit too long and you get lazy, numb. Relationships need the thrill of the unknown every now and then, like adrenaline jolts to stay vibrant. Too much comfort breeds apathy and emotional fading, turning desire into friendship. The paradox? You need enough comfort to build safety, but never so much that adventure disappears. Couples who design simple, shared rituals, like spontaneous selfies or weekly, surprise nights, strengthen emotional bonds and reset attraction's clock. These rituals act as emotional fireworks, reminding both partners of the excitement beneath their safe routine. Canwell's case studies show that couples who innovate together keep their chemistry alive. So, mix stability with sparks and watch desire bloom continuously. Back in that Chicago bar, Jake's palms may still sweat, not from nerves, but from embracing the swamp of attraction. This journey you're on isn't about foolproof tricks or slick lines, it's about leaning into tension, building your emotional stock portfolio, and mastering silent signals. Next time you talk to someone you want to attract, try one simple thing. Step just a bit outside your comfort zone. Tease, mirror, and surprise. The fire you light in discomfort is the one that keeps desire blazing long after the night ends. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.